Hey everyone, and welcome. So if you've been scrolling online lately, you've probably seen a plant with these amazing, perfectly round, coin-shaped leaves. Well, that's the star of our show today, the super charming Pilea peperomioides, also known as the Chinese money plant. We're going to dive into why this plant is so incredibly popular and, more importantly, how you can grow a beautiful one yourself.
You know, plant expert Marina Remeslo absolutely nailed it when she said, it's pure joy in a pot. I mean, just look at it. You can totally see why. Its cheerful, one-of-a-kind look is a guaranteed conversation starter. And it's got a whole bunch of fun nicknames too. Pancake Plant and UFO Plant, those obviously come from its wild, saucer-shaped leaves, but the one I really love is the Pass It On plant. And that name points to something really special about it that we're going to get into in a little bit. Now here's the best part, especially if you're new to plants or you have pets. This little guy grows fast, it's really good at telling you what it needs, and it's completely non-toxic to cats and dogs. It's seriously the whole package, all the style without any of the stress.
So getting started is way easier than you might think. All you have to do is focus on what I call the 3 golden rules. Get the light, the water, and the soil just right. If you can master these 3 things, I promise you, you're going to have a very, very happy Pilea.
Okay, rule number 1, it's all about the light. The key phrase to remember here is bright but not baking. A Pilea needs a good amount of light to fuel all that growth and to make those little baby plants, but its leaves are pretty delicate and they will absolutely scorch in harsh, direct sunlight. So, what does that actually look like in your home? Well, an east-facing window that gets that gentle morning sun is pretty much perfect. Or you could place it a few feet back from a stronger south or west-facing window. Just whatever you do, avoid those spots where the sun is just beating down, because that'll burn the leaves. And on the flip side, don't stick it in a dark corner, or it'll get all stretched out and leggy trying to find the light.
Okay, now listen up, because if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, this should be it. When in doubt, let it dry out. Pileas can handle being too dry way better than they can handle being too wet. Their roots are super fine and can get root rot really easily, which makes overwatering the #1 biggest mistake people make with this plant.
The great news is the plant will literally tell you what it needs. If you see the lower leaves turning yellow and falling off, that's a classic sign you're overwatering. But if the entire plant just looks kind of sad and droopy, it's thirsty. It's really that simple. A good rule of thumb is to water only when the top 1 to 2 inches of soil feel completely dry to the touch. And that brings us right to our third and final golden rule, which is all about the soil. To prevent that dreaded root rot we just talked about, your Pilea absolutely needs a light, airy soil mix that drains super quickly. Heavy, dense, waterlogged soil is its mortal enemy. And you can totally whip up the perfect mix yourself. It's easy. Just combine equal parts of a regular potting soil, some perlite to keep things airy, and then some coco coir or peat moss. But hey, if you'd rather just buy a bag, a good quality succulent or cactus mix from the store works great too. Okay, so you've nailed the basics of keeping it alive. Awesome. Now let's talk about a couple of simple things you can do to take your plant from just surviving to really, truly thriving. Think about it like this. During the spring and summer, your Pilea is in its growing season. It's working hard. So to support all that new growth, you want to give it a little boost. Use a balanced houseplant fertilizer, but dilute it to half strength and give it that about once a month. Then in the fall and winter, just let it chill out and rest. Roughly every year or 2, your plant's probably going to need a bigger home. So how do you know it's time? Well, it gives you some really clear signs. You might see roots poking out of the drainage holes at the bottom, or you'll notice you have to water it constantly. Or, the most fun sign, the pot will just be jam-packed with little baby plants or pups. You know, one of the best things about the Pilea is that it's so communicative. It really does show you when something's not quite right. So let's learn how to speak its language and go through a few common problems. All right, let's just tackle the big one right away. This is, without a doubt, the #1 question Pilea owners ask. You have this gorgeous green plant, and then all of a sudden, one of the bottom leaves turns bright yellow. So what's going on? I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, maybe even more, the answer is overwatering. If you see yellow leaves, especially down at the bottom of a plant, the very first thing you should do is check the soil. Let it dry out completely before you even think about watering it again. And there are other signals to look for too. If the leaves are kind of curling up or doming, it's probably getting too much intense light. If a bunch of healthy-looking leaves suddenly drop off, it might be in a cold draft from a window or a door.
And if you see brown or black spots, that can be a fungal thing from getting water on the leaves. So always try to water the soil, not the plant itself.
All right, you've graduated from Pilea 101. You've mastered the basics, you can read your plant's signals. Now for the really fun part. Let's turn you into a Pilea Pro, and we're gonna start with how you can share this awesome plant with other people.
Remember that pass it on nickname? This is exactly where it comes from. A happy, healthy plant will send up these little baby pups from its roots. Once a pup is about 2 or 3 inches tall, you just take a clean knife and carefully separate it from the mother plant right below the soil line. Then you can stick it in a jar of water to root, or you can plant it directly into a new pot. It is that easy to share the joy.
Okay, pro tip number 1. This is a super simple trick for getting that picture-perfect symmetrical Pilea. This plant will literally lean towards the light. So to keep it growing straight and full all the way around, just give the pot a little quarter turn every few days. It's such a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in how it looks.
Pro tip number 2. Remember how we've been talking about how much this plant hates, and I mean hates, having wet feet? Well, a simple unglazed terracotta pot can be your secret weapon. The clay is porous, so it actually helps pull excess moisture out of the soil, acting like a little insurance policy against overwatering.
And a final tip, this one's for anybody who gets a little nervous about watering. Just wait for the plant to tell you when it's thirsty. The leaves will go from being firm and perky to just a little bit soft and droopy. That is your foolproof signal that it's time for a drink. It'll perk right back up in a few hours.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought, which I think is just the coolest thing about this plant. Its history is amazing. It was brought out of China back in the 1940s by a Norwegian missionary, and from there, it spread all across the world, not through big commercial nurseries, but just by everyday gardeners sharing cuttings with their friends. So as your plant starts to grow its own little family, the only question left is, who are you going to pass your first one on to?